Welcome back. The next few days are going to be huge for the U.S. economy. President Trump's massive tariff on India, 50%, goes into effect, and the de minimis exemption officially expires tomorrow, which could potentially reshape international trade.
Yeah, plus the second estimate drops today for the gross domestic products report. That will offer a new look at economic growth as the president wraps up his feud with the Federal Reserve. News Nation's Alicia Neves is on Wall Street with the details. Alicia, a lot is on the table this morning. What can we expect from today's report?
Yeah, good morning, Corey and Hillary. Wall Street going to have all eyes on the report today as really our economies and economies around the world being tested by President Trump's tariff agenda. All eyes again on this GDP print. It's going to be the second one that comes out, kind of reiterating whether that print that we got for 3% growth for Q2 for our economy, if that is actually the case. If that number shifts, it could be a market mover for Wall Street today, as it could be symbolized, something more for the overall U.S. economy. It does, of course, follow what we saw in Q1, which was a bit concerning. The U.S. economy actually shrank by about 0.5%. So all eyes on Q2. If 3% holds strong, if it's better, even better for the overall U.S. economy, meaning we're able to withstand the impact of Trump's inflations. We're continuing to grow. If it comes lower, that could be a bit of a concern, meaning the U.S. economy is still feeling slower growth and a bit of a pinch amid the president's tariff agendas. And that's really important because the agenda is still being unfolded, right? This week, as you noted a moment ago, that tariff on India, that is being implemented now 50%, up from 25%. And this is notable. You're talking some $80 billion in goods from India, certainly going to affect their economy by all accounts more than it's going to affect the U.S. because we make up 20% of their overall exports. But make no mistake, U.S. consumers could feel the pinch here. You're talking about everything from leather supplies, medical supplies, jewelry, that the U.S. consumer is going to pay more for because it's a trickle-down effect, right? Typically companies, and we've heard this from Wall Street, companies saying they're going to have to pass down the cost of tariffs to consumers, particularly now. They pass it down and then consumers eventually stop, consuming, and that eventually hurts those companies. So Wall Street going to pay close attention what this report says about the impacts of the overall consumer, which makes up 70% of the overall U.S. economy. It'll be a really important number to tell whether President Trump's agenda is having a major impact to the economy, and then eventually what that means for the Fed when it comes to rate cuts.
So, Alicia, with the Fed sort of juggling all this data, how are the president's attacks playing into the mix?
It's clear the president has had a problem with the Fed, since the beginning of the administration. He has called for these really robust rate cuts. He has said very clearly he wants a 1% rate cut, which is really unprecedented. We only see that during major economic downturns. The last time we saw something like that was during the pandemic. The Fed has been resistant to do so, and the independence of the overall Fed has been something that is the president has struggled with, right? So we've seen these attacks grow. We've seen, the president attack Fed Chair Powell, calling him various names from a numbskull to too late Powell. He seemed to turn his attention away from Fed Chair Powell, realizing that just replacing the Fed chair is not going to make the Fed do the president's bidding and have these dramatic rate cuts. It really is a majority rule. There's 12 boards of governors that make up the overall Fed, and the majority of them vote on whether we see a rate cut. So he has been little by little kind of gaining some influence on the Fed, if you will. The last time there was a rate decision, two board of governors dissented with Powell, which is something we haven't seen in about 30 years. We saw one board of governor resign. The president gets to replace that board of governor. And now the attention seems to have turned on a fourth board of governor, Lisa Cook. The president's, an ally of the president, has accused her of mortgage fraud, saying that she had a home that was listed as her primary residence, two of them, in 2021. There haven't been any formal charges filed against her, but the president has now said because of that, this week he has fired her. She has since said that she is suing the president to stop him from doing so, actually saying that he does not have any authority to do so. And as we stand here right now today, it is very unclear whether Lisa Cook is still a board of governor at the Fed. I say that for two reasons. One, NEC chair Kevin Hassett just yesterday came out and said she should resign. If you're fired, you shouldn't have to resign. And then really we're in just uncharted territory in the entire history of the Fed. We have never had a president fire a board of governor or a Fed chair. So really something that Wall Street is paying close attention to, because this could potentially be historic if, in fact, Lisa Cook is fired. Back to you guys.
Alicia, thank you so much for all of that. We appreciate it.